Kia ora, this is Arun Jacob, your friendly and frank licensed New Zealand immigration advisor, coming live from Hamilton, New Zealand, like every week on the Tuesday. It has become sort of my routine now, where I sit here in front of the my computer here in my office in Hamilton, and I go live to all you wonderful people out there on Facebook as well as on YouTube. So this broadcast is coming live both on Facebook as well as on YouTube, and yeah, backed by my wonderful team of people from AJV Services, which is the company that I represent, and my rest of my awesome team. We are all in it together, and what we've been doing very, very successfully over the last few years is help some really talented people from different parts of the world to migrate to New Zealand. And a lot of our clients migrate to New Zealand through the pathway of education. And that's really what we guys have been doing for the last few years now. We've done it very successfully. And one of the main reasons why I'm also able to sit here and talk to you guys is because I have something called a wallet card, and the wallet card is my license from the Immigration Advisors Authority of New Zealand, which talks about the fact that I am licensed as an immigration advisor in New Zealand, and that's also a bigger copy of my license there. And I had to undertake that particular course to be able to get this particular license and do a few other things. So, all in all, we are a big team of people. Myself, and then we have a couple of senior managers, one looking after the team in New Zealand and one looking after the team in India, and we have one person working out of the Middle East. We have a few ex-immigration officers on our team, and we are increasing the size of our team both in India as well as in New Zealand, so that we can service you guys better. And last week, I part of the my agenda in this particular New Zealand education migration process is to come live and speak to you guys. And every week I like to speak for a few minutes till the question starts coming in. So if you guys are watching this, please post your questions on the Facebook chat where this live thing is happening right now, because it's a little difficult for me to toggle between YouTube and Facebook. So request all those of you watching it on YouTube as well to, if possible, come onto Facebook, where if you come to Facebook and search for AJV Global, that is the page where this particular session is going live. And so we'd be happy to answer all your questions about New Zealand education migration. And while I'm waiting for the questions to come in, I'd like to talk a little bit about general stuff. And last week I started by showing a beautiful bottle of red wine that was brought to me by a couple of my wonderful clients who came to meet me in my office here in Hamilton. Today as well, there was another little goodie bag that I got from another set of clients who came to meet me, and this was a wonderful couple from China who has been our clients for some time. And yeah, they were so awesome. They picked up something for me from the duty free shop when they landed, and guess what, guys? It's an awesome bottle of Red Label whiskey. Woohoo! Guess who's gonna party tonight after this live session is over? So, jokes apart, it's awesome to have some of our wonderful people coming and meeting me and spending some time. But I think the point I was trying to make was when this beautiful family from China. This was our first. As you guys are aware, we do pick up a lot of clients from India because by virtue of the fact that I'm originally from India. But this wonderful family came, and I had a great day today taking them around Hamilton and showed them around the city that we are looking at. So they're planning to come as a couple, and they are. So the husband is planning to do a course in engineering studies, and the wife plans to accompany and have a little child. So we are working with this Chinese family, and they found us on YouTube and Facebook, just like all of you, and they said they're gonna come and meet me as well before they decide to actually do this. So it was a great day today. And so what I did is I not only spent some time with them, but I took them around Hamilton and showed them a few places and told them where the developments are happening, where they are likely to live, if they move to New Zealand, where the university is going to be, where the main shopping center is, where I even, it was part of my everyday work day. So I had to go pick up my kid from school. So I also, they came with me when I went to pick up my children from school. So they also got to see the school. And so, that's the kind of work we guys like to do at AJV. If you're following and you're people who are planning to move to New Zealand, you need to work with people like us who live in this country, experience it on a day by day basis. And those are the experiences we guys can share with you. There are lots of advisors globally who talk about New Zealand as a destination, but then there are people like us who are actually based in New Zealand, and this is our life every day. We wake up, I can look at the fact that what kind of weather is out there, or how often it gets cold, how nice it is in summer, and so on and so forth, and talk to you about where you should live, you should not live. And so we let a lot more advice than just the course and the curriculum and the college and stuff like that. So guys, if you're serious about moving to New Zealand, talk to HAV. We guys would be delighted to work with you. That was our first Chinese couple as a client. I mean, a lot of our clients are from India. If you're from India, please call this toll free number. I don't know if you guys can see it, but 1-800-103-6525. 1-800-103-6525. That's our toll free number in India. So you can talk to our team members. We have a very big team in India. If you're not from India and you still want to connect with us, then you guys need to send us an email to info at ajvglobal.com. And yeah, those are the ways to reach us. So if you're from India, toll free number 1-800-103-6525. If you're not from India, yeah, info at ajvglobal.com. And we would absolutely love to work with you guys. Okay. And in the meantime, we got some questions coming. So I had to do a little bit of a spiel initially and talk for a few minutes so that we give time for our visitors to come and ask some questions. So I'm going to start off by RD Ridoy says, hi, how are you? Doing very well, buddy. Thank you. How are you? Sajita is waving. Hi, Sajita. So a few other hellos, hi. So Sajita asks, hi, I want to know about the scope of PG diploma in aquaculture in NMIT New Zealand and the chances of getting working visa and PR. Very good question. Not often do I hear somebody asking about aquaculture, which I think is a very good subject to learn, especially in a country like New Zealand, because we are an island nation. We have sea all around us, and so we are two islands which are stuck in the Pacific Ocean. So obviously, we are pretty big on aquaculture, and I think we also do very ethical and very sustainable aquaculture. I watch a program on TV every week very diligently. It's called Country Calendar, which talks about all the different kinds of farming techniques that are being used in New Zealand. And aquaculture is also growing quite well in New Zealand. Our fisheries industry is pretty big. We have the very famous bluff oysters in the south of the country, which is, these are just some of the standout things when we talk about aquaculture in New Zealand. So I think, first of all, Sajita, your choice to choose New Zealand as your place to study aquaculture is very good. And I think our techniques and technology in this particular field are also up there. So what you learn will be very practical stuff, which I think will also lead to a good settlement opportunity for you, because fisheries and aquaculture is also one of our large export nations. As a country that is very far away from the rest of the world, we need to rely on exporting our produce to other countries and importing the stuff that we need here in New Zealand. So overall, I think your field is good, and fisheries along with wine, wine is also growing in our stature as an export country, export industry for this country. So I think overall your choice is very good, and chances of getting working visa and PR. I think if you're going to do a postgraduate diploma in aquaculture, yes, you will definitely be eligible for a post-study work visa. And that post-study work visa period, if you're able to find yourself a job relevant to the course you've completed, yep, that was definitely more than likely going to lead to a PR. And obviously, PR being permanent residency, it's not a straightforward step. Of course, you first need to get residency, and then you get permanent residency. But you also need to get a certain level of salary, a certain level of position, so on and so forth. So if you're coming to New Zealand and working coming to New Zealand through AJB, and you're working with us as one of our students, we'll be able to guide you at each and every step, Sajita. And most importantly, you're going to Nelson, where we already have a few of our wonderful AJV students. And in fact, one of them is also an ex immigration officer who chose to come to New Zealand through AJV. So we're very privileged and honored to that even ex immigration officers are choosing to work with us. They hold us in very good respect. So we are very pleased about that. And this person is not only studying in NMIT at the moment, but she's also working with us part time because she comes with about 16, 17 years of experience in the immigration department of New Zealand. And when we realized that she's going to work with us as a student, we also said, hey, look, we can utilize that expertise. So she's now part of our onshore team here in New Zealand. So we have a good understanding of the Nelson region. We have a great rapport with NMIT. So if you're working with us, Sajita, we'd be very, very pleased to help you and assist you to not only reach New Zealand the right way, but also do well here. So if you're not working with us already, please connect with us, and we'll be very delighted to work with you, Sajita. And by the way, Sajita, my team confirms that you're actually working with us. So thanks for that. It's an amazing opportunity for us to work with young, smart people like yourself. And now that it's confirmed that you're going to be an AGV student, I promise you, you're going to get the best support possible. You might even see me in Nelson. I have this thing of starting my car and driving suddenly wherever I feel like. So I might pop in and say hello to you in Nelson. But thank you so much for choosing to work with AJB, and I hope I have answered your question. Kavita asks, hi, I want to know about spouse visa. My husband is working as a chef in New Zealand from last 5 years. Did I get the spouse visa? I mean, absolutely, Kavita. I mean, if you are legally married and you have been in a relationship, definitely. So the two things that the Immigration Department of New Zealand looks for in granting something called a partner, work visa or a spouse work visa, as most people tend to call it, is the fact that we first need to prove that the relationship is genuine. You need to have your marriage certificate and a few other documents. So, and then not only are you married, but you must also prove that you have been living together. So, because somebody can get married a month back, but that doesn't mean they have been living together. So the two elements of a partnership case are that you need to be in a genuine relationship, plus you also should have been living together in that relationship, and that's when you get a spouse work visa. So it will not be possible for me to comment whether you will get your spouse work visa or not, because already I can see that if your husband has been in New Zealand for the last 5 years, where you're living together, if you were not present in the country, so that is possibly a challenge already in your case. So what I would suggest is send us your uh, CV and possibly your husband's contact details also to info at ajvglobal.com. That is the email address that I made out for all of you so that you can have clarity about. So, info at ajvglobal.com. Send your CV and your husband's CV. Send us the contact details so that one of our immigration teams can contact you and talk to you and get more details. And based on that, we can tell you whether you're eligible for a spouse work visa. So if you've been married for 5 years, I think you should be all right. But the fact is, maybe you were not living together. So if you were not living together, how do we present that case to Immigration New Zealand is what we will need to assess. All right. So please get in touch with us, Kavita. Email info at ajvglobal.com and mention seeking for spouse work visa and share some details as well. It gets forwarded to me and to the immigration team. We have a student visa team, and then we have an onshore immigration team. So we are very well equipped. As I told you, we have ex immigration officers. There are licensed advisors like myself. So we are a very solid and strong team. We will be able to help you with all your visa issues, guys. So do not hesitate to speak to us. All right. Okay. Now the next one is Hari Krishnan. Hari sounds familiar. Hari, I think, is one of those guys who comes back to my live sessions. And if it's the same Hari, hi Hari, is it easy for getting admission in Waikato, and little about Waikato, please? Hari, the thing about any university is the same. They would have their own set of standards in terms of admissions. And again, I think those set of standards would also differ from school, department to department. So the set of standards, admission standards they have for the English department or the linguistic department may not be the same for the computers and IT department. So it depends. So the best way to understand whether you will get admitted into University of Waikato or not would be to uh, first make an application through an authorized agency like AJV, and we have a good rapport with them. And when we go through your documents, even if we believe there is something that is missing or something that can be added further, our very proficient team will talk to you and guide you and ensure that it is going as a complete package when it goes to the University of Waikato for admission. And that's the advantage you get of having of working with an organization like AJV, because we'll ensure we are presenting the right case, because if our application fails, we don't earn any money, and and we don't want to lose good clients like you. So you can trust us. There is no fee involved because we get compensated by the institution. So don't worry about that. So just work with us and give us the documents, and we will present it in the best way, not only to the university. That is step one, but then the step two is presenting it again to the immigration department of New Zealand and ensuring you get a visa. So we are really good at it. And to talk about whether University of Waikato is a good one. Of course, it's a good one. What are you saying? It's based in Hamilton, where I live. So, but jokes apart, I don't mean it that way. But the University of Waikato has got a very good standing in New Zealand, as well as I think it's well recognized globally as well. And in fact, today that gentleman who came from China, my client, I told you he got me this wonderful gift from the duty free shop. So he is also contemplating to join the University of Waikato for engineering. So he went to the university campus and he came back saying, "Wow, what a beautiful campus!" And so I definitely endorse University of Waikato. It is somebody that we work with closely, and we have a lot of regard for. Not because we work with them, but because it's a genuinely very good university. So definitely choose University of Waikato. Not sure what is your subject matter is, but if you're choosing University of Waikato, you'll get good education. But please make sure that you're also choosing a good company like AJV to work with, Hari. Because as we say, we do a lot of support, not only during your admission and visa time, but even after you land in New Zealand. So, I mean, if you have the ability to understand what's good for you, you must reach out and work with us. All right. So when my team connects, please say hello to them and have a good discussion with them, Hari. Cool. Okay, Jino Korean Muthe Datu. I hope I pronounced it right. It says, if I'm going to study BSc nursing as an international student, is that new student post-study work will affect? Okay, the question is not very well formed, but I think his question is, if I study BSc nursing as an international student, will I be eligible for a post-study work visa? I think, most definitely, even if there is a change in policy, which is still being debated, and that's a question I'm sure somebody will definitely ask me going forward, saying what's happening with the new policy. It is still not a policy yet. It is still being discussed, guys. But even if the policy does change, I think people coming to study a bachelor's in New Zealand, no problem. I think there is never going to be a problem for people who come and study bachelor's in New Zealand, because for very simple reasons. Somebody willing to invest 3 years of international fees into New Zealand is welcome for us. We international education is a massive industry for us, and we want to get revenue out of this particular industry, which is growing really well for us at the moment. And not only that, we have the government set a target of reaching $5 billion as the revenue from international education by 2025. Yeah, that is the target. So yeah, absolutely. I think 3 year bachelor's for not only in nursing but any field that you choose to come to New Zealand, I think you will be welcomed. I think it will be a nice, easy process. And the beauty of doing a 3 years course in New Zealand is that in those 3 years you will practically get completely attuned to the environment in New Zealand. So you will not only pass out with a very good bachelor's, but you will also practically become like a New Zealander and a Kiwi in your mind. So your ability to go find work and post study residency and all those things becomes a lot easier. All right, hope I've answered your questions. It's a good course choice because we also are always short of nurses in New Zealand. So that's a good course choice. 3 years bachelor's, brilliant. last choice you need to make is to work with AJV, because we are here present in New Zealand to be able to work with you and provide you with the right guidance. All right. So that's where I'm looking, guys. And my team keeps sort of confirming to me whether some of you guys are working with us or not working with us. And no mention yet, Gino, whether you're working with us or not working with us. But if you're not working with us, request you to work with us for your own benefit and also to help us as an organization. All right, cool. Zahid. Okay. Either Zahid actually has got a name which is done twice, or he just likes to write it twice. But I'm gonna just call you Zahid. All right. So, hello, sir. I'm looking for a job in New Zealand. Can you please help me? I wish Zahid. Everybody is looking for a job in New Zealand. Everybody is looking for residency in New Zealand. And I actually have made a nice video which says finding jobs when you are not present in the country is not easy. And there is actually a nice video I shot. I think I shot it while I was sitting in my car. I'd gone for a conference to Auckland, and there was some time during the lunch break. So I finished my sandwich and I was sitting in that lovely park, and I was like, what do I do to kill the time? So I actually just put up my phone on the dashboard, and I started talking about whether it's easy to find a job or not in New Zealand, especially when you're not present in the country. And the answer is no, it is not easy, because within New Zealand, for people who are already present in the country, we are talking about local New Zealanders, and we are talking about people who are on work visas, and we are talking about people who are on student visas, and we are talking about people who are on working holiday visas. There's already a lot of very good talent floating around inside New Zealand already with the valid work visas and the work rights already. So why would an employer want to look at somebody who is not present in the country? So my simple suggestion to people like you who are looking to finding work in New Zealand is you've got to go step by step. You've got to first get into the country on a valid visa. Again, your next question will be, so can I come on a visitor visa? Again, a lot of employers don't like people who come on visitor visas because they know visitor visa is only for a short period of time. So employers don't want to take that risk. So get into the country on a proper visa, and which is where we advocate strongly the international study and settlement pathway, where you can come in while you're studying. You'll be able to have part-time work rights after you complete the course. If you're choosing the right level of course, you'll be able to get full-time work rights. So you're here for a minimum of 2 years, and in that 2 years, you have adequate time to form your networks and find a job, Zahid. So sitting wherever you're sitting, I can't make out from your comment which part of the world you're talking from, but I guess you're from one of the South Asian countries like India or Pakistan or Bangladesh. So you've got to get yourself into New Zealand in the legitimate manner and with the right visa. And then based on that is how you'll be able to find a job. So go back to YouTube. On YouTube, I have a lot of videos. And so on YouTube, there is one which says, can I find a job and settle down in New Zealand? And it kind of gives you more detail of what I just told you in an encapsulated form. All right. So hope I've answered that for you, Zahid. Good name, by the way. Zamzam Zahid Zahid. Okay, I have a question from the Torian. The Torian. That's some of the closest people in my life are Torians, by the way, including my wife. All right. So, hey, I'm an AJB student. I have got my offer letter from University of Waikato. Excellent. Well done, Torian. I would like to get some just on accommodation. Will it be cheaper to stay on campus or off campus? Obviously, it will be a little cheaper to stay off campus, Torian. I don't know your actual name, but um, even my team has written saying the Torian is Ruben's client for November intake. So I still don't know what your real name is, Torian, but I guess I will get to know eventually at some point in time. But on campus has got its advantages. Obviously, it's a very student centric environment, and so everybody is caught in that university kind of mode and things like that. So it's a good idea to stay on campus. And off campus, gives you that flexibility to rent your own place and then maybe get hold of three, four friends and classmates and as it is called shared accommodation, or in New Zealand we call it flatting. So you could get up into flatting. So both have their advantages and disadvantages. The on-campus ones, there might be certain restrictions on cooking and a few other things, but off-campus you would be responsible for some other things. If you're cooking the wrong sort of stuff, the rental agency can come and say, "Man, you're doing you're putting up too much of smells into the curtains of the house, the carpets of the house." So it's got both its pros and cons. My recommendation would be to start with on campus, at least for the first few months. Get yourself into a comfortable zone, because if you're staying on campus, then you don't have to travel, for instance, so there is no bus involved. You will not require a car, so you're kind of not spending all that money. You'll be able to walk to call a university and come back. It's a beautiful campus, by the way, University of Waikato. It's got great grounds. I actually go practice cricket in the indoor nets of the University of Waikato, so I'm there very regularly, by the way, and I live about 5-10 minutes by car. So I would recommend to you that you start off from on campus, and you'll also kind of meet a lot of other international students and start creating those bonds. After the first few months, maybe a few of you will become good friends and say, "Hey, you know what? We all bond together well. Why don't we go out and take our own house and share it amongst ourselves?" And by the time you're also familiar with New Zealand, so you know where to go buy your stuff, what to do, what, and things like that. So, my recommendation: first few months, I would say about, yeah, at least 3 to 4 months, stay on campus, and then later off campus. Okay. I hope I've answered that for you, Torian. By the way, I got your real name, but I will not say it out because obviously you want to hide behind the name Torian, which is pretty cool, by the way. Dikshit Joshi, sir, I have gap of 3 years. I applied for graduate diploma in applied management in Otago Polytechnic. I am a mechanical engineering, so I have any chances for visa in New Zealand. Please answer me. Dikshit, you have not mentioned whether you're working with AJV, and guys and girls, whoever is asking questions, I would really appreciate if you can mention if you're already in touch with the AJV team, because otherwise my team has to search through their database and then write back to me and tell me whether you guys are working with us or not. And not that I'll be partial or impartial, but it'll be good to get some more information whether you're working with us. Because if you had told me, Dikshit, that you're also working with HJV, I can tell you no problem with your get, because we are very, very, very good at presenting our student visa applications to Immigration New Zealand and telling them the real story genuinely and just the way it is. So even if you have had gaps, we are happy to talk to you and understand why there was a gap and collate it properly, put it down into very good, coherent English and professional language and legal language, and then present that case to the visa department, or Immigration New Zealand, and then they will take a look at it. And we have a very high visa success rate. Our student visa team is headed by an ex-immigration officer, by the way, who understands the need to be authentic, the need to be genuine, the need to be honest, and the need to be professional. So we are good at understanding. And if you're not matching all those criteria, we will tell you, saying that, hey, look, you may not be matching all the criteria and what you could possibly do to address that. But in most instances, we are able to work with people like yourself who have gaps in their studies. In fact, I think last year we worked with a client who was in her early 50s, and the last time she had studied was when she was in her 20s. So there was almost a 30-year gap. Did not matter, because she had a genuine interest to study. Had a definite reason to come to New Zealand and take up that particular course. So we presented the case. No problem. We got the visa. So gaps is never a problem, guys. And I keep saying this always. If you're not working with AJV and you're working with some other agencies, sometimes some of these unprofessional and unscrupulous agencies will tell you to put fake work experience letters to fill the gap. And according to them, this how do I put it? I mean, I can't use wrong language in my live broadcast, but these very, very unprofessional people will actually ask you to lie to fill up that gap in their studies when there is absolutely no need. because if there was a gap, there is a reason for it. If you were not doing anything for 3 years and just idling at home, there's a reason for that. We will present only the genuine, honest reasons to immigration department and maximize the strengths of our students and show how they are beneficial to New Zealand as a country, as an international student, and then we will work with you. So do not worry about your gaps, Dikshit. If you're asking me this question, I think you already have a doubt in your mind and in your heart that maybe your agency is not dealing very well with your application. So you don't have to live with that doubt. Just pick up the phone and call 1-800 103 6525. That is our toll free number in India. I hope you guys can see that. Okay. So just pick up the phone and call 1-800-103-6525, which is our toll free number in India, and we will examine your case and present it the right way. Or if you'd rather prefer to use email, then it is info@ajbglobal.com. All right. So, Dikshit, you sound like a smart guy. Choose smartly and come to us, and we will ensure that there are no problems with your visa. All right. Cool. Okay, right. The next one is from Michael Chandrahi and says, Michael, Mr. Arun, is Christchurch currently and in the long term going to be rebuilding of more buildings compared to roads? It's an interesting question, Michael. I mean, as you are probably aware, Christchurch had an earthquake, and so it was not one of the nicest things to happen to New Zealand. It's not a good thing to happen to any country for that matter, but it was quite terrible for us as a nation, and we still kind of deal with the scars of the Christchurch earthquake. But there has been a lot of rebuild happening, and it kind of almost created a whole new economy in that region, in the Canterbury region. Christchurch is in a region called Canterbury, and it kind of led to a lot of influx of foreign workers because we required a whole lot of construction workers. So all that happened. Will rebuilding of buildings be more compared to roads? I honestly don't know because I'm not a an engineer nor am I a town planner. So I wouldn't have an idea whether they're going to build more buildings or more roads. But I think your question really is because you're planning to do a course in civil engineering, and I think you're wanting to know whether you need to get into civil engineering pertaining to buildings, or you want to get into roads, which is also comes under civil engineering, obviously. So I think your question is that, and I think besides the Christchurch rebuild, overall New Zealand's infrastructure is growing because we are growing as as a country. So our overall requirement for infrastructure is growing. So not only buildings in Christchurch, but we need a lot of highways and roads and stuff, everywhere else as well. So I think in the big picture, both buildings as well as roads would have equal demand. But I would say look at the papers and building as well as in roadside, say which are the ones which appeal more to you as a civil engineer, and then based on that you should take a call, Michael. And like as I keep saying, talk to us. If I can give you such good, simple, sensible information in 2 minutes, imagine what we can do if you talk to us for 2 hours. So pick up the phone, speak to our team, 1-800-103-6525. If you're in India, if you're not in India and you want to connect with us, it's info@ajbglobal.com, and we will absolutely connect with you guys and we'll get back to you. And I'm normally very friendly with my team, but the few times I get upset is when they don't respond back to inquiries quick enough. So I promise you, you will get a good, quick response from our team. And if my beautiful, wonderful team is also listening in, now you guys know what really upsets me. Okay, so don't give that opportunity to me. Right. Next one is from Tanvir Patan. Patan. What is the best course for electrical engineer? I mean, obviously, the best course for an electrical engineer would be to choose something that is related to electrical engineering, because not only is engineering in our long-term skill shortage list, but electrical engineering is specifically listed in it. So I would obviously recommend and suggest that you continue with your electrical engineering. If you're already a guy with a bachelor of engineering and specializing in electrical engineering, you could possibly look at a postgraduate diploma or a graduate diploma or a master's, depending on what your interest level is and how high academically you want to go. So that's one definite option. if you're a very very well experienced engineer and you have like 5 to 10 years of work experience, and you say, okay, I've been a fantastic electrical engineer, now I want to kind of acquire some business skills as well. Possibly you could look at doing a business course and kind of build on the technical skills that you already have and put a business course on top of that. So you become, one plus one, which is an electrical engineer with business skills, which is called a tech commercial professional. So that's an option, but I don't recommend people from technical backgrounds to do business courses unless and until they have adequate work experience. So, Tanvir, you have not mentioned what your background is, nothing. So, please email your uh, CV and contact details to info@ajbglobal.com. We would love to connect with you and give you more information. All right. Cool. Okay, Prizzy asks from YouTube. Hello, sir. What are expenses for studying PG diploma in New Zealand? Prizzy, by and large, I think PG diplomas are around the range of between 20 and $25,000 approximately, mostly. Each one, of course, will differ. And Prezi, I got your correct name from my team, but I will continue to call you Prezi. And my team confirms that you're actually talking to my colleague Catherine, who is a wonderful counselor, by the way. So thanks for connecting with us, Prezi. Appreciate it. So approximately the cost for a postgraduate diploma is around 20 between 20 and $25,000 for 1 year. So depends on what subject and other things, but by and large that's the average cost. And then on top of that, you've got to show your living expenses, which is $15,000 per annum. So at the moment, it is still that. Although last year I was attending a very high level immigration conference, and they mentioned they may be revising that, but at the moment it is your tuition fees plus your $15,000 worth of living expenses. So thanks for choosing us, Prezi. Much appreciated, and I look forward to seeing you in New Zealand soon. Sam Dektal, nice name, Sam. Can you please tell me if I've just completed my hospitality management for 2 years, level 5? Is there a good future in Auckland for it, or should I move somewhere else like Europe or Australia? Sam, I think logically you should continue to stay in New Zealand. Maybe not necessarily only in Auckland, because New Zealand is a big country. People think it is small. It is not. It's a reasonably big country. Here is some trivia, guys. Whoever thinks that New Zealand is like a really small country, we are as big as Japan or the United Kingdom in physical size. And we are as big as the state of California in America, which you guys know is a very large state. So we are not on some little dot stuck into the Pacific. We are a reasonably big country, and we are spectacularly beautiful from the northern tip to the southern tip, and which is why tourism is our highest earning industry, and we get millions of tourists coming every year. Which is why, Sam, you've already done a course in hospitality management for 2 years at level 5. So you must stay in a country where tourism is the highest earning industry. So obviously there is a requirement for people who have a good background in hospitality. So if you're already in New Zealand and you've done a course in hospitality, I don't think you should be looking at moving to some other country because all the English saying, a bird in hand is worth two in the bush. So if you're going to go to Australia or Europe, you got to kind of start all over again. So doesn't make sense. So I would say stick around in New Zealand because we do require good hospitality professionals. I recommend that you get in touch with our senior manager, Mary Joseph, who helps me and the rest of our onshore team. So she coordinates all our onshore work here in New Zealand. She also lives in Hamilton. Her number is 022 605 2615. Send her a text or connect with her and seek more advice if you're looking at further visas and stuff like that. All right, cool. Kavita says thanks. You're welcome, Kavita. Rizwan Siddiq Muhammad Siddiq asks IELTS required. I'm graduate. Don't know for what you're looking at IELTS, but yeah, by and large, Rizwan, either for studies or for residency, you would do require IELTS. So the answer is yes, you will require IELTS, and it is IELTS and not IEALTS. So it's International English Language Testing System. So that's what it is. All right. Madhavan Gautam asked, "Can one start a business in New Zealand after getting a skilled migrant visa?" Absolutely, Madhavan. No problems with that. In fact, I think it will be a good thing for people who get skilled migrant category visas. I mean, say I'm a guy who has got a skilled migrant. It's good for people like us to start businesses because not everybody should be a job seeker. Some should also be job creators. I feel very proud that I've created 5 or 6 jobs in New Zealand now, and I've created about 30 jobs in India, and I've created one job in the Middle East. So I feel very proud about that fact. So I think it's a great opportunity for migrants who come to New Zealand to also think of setting up businesses? It's a very good question, and I strongly encourage you because I love to encourage fellow entrepreneurs. Plus, bear in mind, New Zealand is one of the best countries to start a business. As per the ease of doing business ranking from the World Bank, we are number one. So you're choosing the right place. And if you need further information or other, if you're still not in New Zealand, send an email to info@hjbglobal.com. We'll pick it up from there. All right, cool. The Hungry Indian. I heard this name as well before. Vishnu here, sir. Hi, Vishnu. Yes, Hungry Indian. As my visa is still under processing, the university had to defer my offer to February intake. Is there any way I can come to New Zealand in advance and work for a few months, sir? Let's wait for the visa to be processed, Vishnu, because sometimes it does so happen that sometimes, at the discretion of the immigration department, although your starting period is in February, they might quite simply, approve your visa in the month of November and say, yeah, sure, your travel rights start right away. So there is a possibility. So I'd say wait and watch, Vishnu, because right now I can't say, yes, you can come and work. It's all at the discretion of the immigration department. It's unfortunate that, there was a delay and then in the visa processing and the university had to defer. But just a word of caution and advice is please remember, all you guys who are planning to come to New Zealand, that you're coming here with the primary intention of being students and not to work. So don't make work the priority during your student time. Focus on the studies. Get yourself into that student mode. Just focus on the part-time work, and then once you finish the course, get into the full-time job mode, and that's the way to do it. So don't it's like don't name the son before you get married kind of situation. So you need to first focus on the wife before you start thinking about the kids. All right, cool. I give bad examples, guys. Sorry about my terrible jokes. um Payal Balmari says, "Hi, Aaron. This is Payal. I am already a student in Unitech pursuing PG Diploma in Business Level 8. Payal, you sound, yeah, absolutely. I think we've interacted before. Can I pursue a short term 6 months accounting course simultaneously?" Good question. Technically, you will require to have a variation because you are on a defined student visa, which says you're present in New Zealand to pursue a particular course in a particular institution, so on and so forth. But it's a very interesting question you've asked because if it is less than 3 months, I think you should be all right. But again, like I said, it's not 100% sure. I'll need to check into the policy and come back and give you the exact advice. But by and large, below 3 months, because I know from the back of my head that, or the top of my head, that people who come on a visitor visa to New Zealand can undertake courses below 3 months, and they don't require to vary their visitor visa. So similarly, but yours is a 6 months course, so there might be a little complication there, Fire. Could I request you to get in touch with us and talk to Mary on 022 605 2615? Mary is our senior manager who is also based in Hamilton. We will assess the situation a bit more carefully and give you the right advice. All right, Payal? Yeah, cool. Siva Raman Murugesan, meet you tomorrow at AIS. Absolutely, Siva, looking forward to it. I'll be there at. Hey guys, besides those live video sessions, if some of you guys think what a lazy fellow this chap is, he just sits in his office and does live sessions on Facebook and YouTube. I actually get out sometimes and do real live seminars as well. So tomorrow I'm actually presenting at AIS St. Helens, which is one of the institutions we work with and we represent, and it's one of the schools we have a lot of respect for. So I'll be going there and presenting and pretty much doing the same thing but in person. So Yeah, look forward to seeing you, Shiva, tomorrow at AIS. Harleen Shroff asks, "Hi, Arun, Arjun. Hey, Arleen, you got my name wrong. I'm not going to answer you. It's not Arjun, it's Arun." Okay, all right. It's Irshad from Mauritius Island. How can I contact you personally? I mean, Irshad, you're already in connection with me. You've already connected with me on Facebook. So what you can do is send me an inbox message on Facebook. I'm sure you know how to do it because you're on Facebook. So actually, you were on YouTube. So come on to Facebook, search for me, Arun Jacob. I think New Zealand should get you my ID because it's got some numbers at the end of it. So just search for Arun Jacob, New Zealand on Facebook. Send me an inbox message. That'll be cool. Or just send your CV to info@ajvglobal.com and write briefly saying what is the advice or support you're seeking, and we'll be happy to help you. Irshad. By the way, we have a couple of lovely clients from Mauritius already, and it was delightful to work with them. So look forward to working with you as well. Sagar Tiwari. Hey AJ, what are the chances of scholarships? CGPA, CPGA. I thought it was CGPA. I think it should be CGPA. Okay. What are the chances of scholarships? CGPA is 7.8, 3 years IT experience, 315 in GRE, and 7.5 in IELTS. Excellent profile, Sagar. Definitely. I mean, no doubt about it. As regards scholarships, I can't recollect all the scholarships off the top of my head, but recently I do remember coming across some notifications from different universities and other institutions which said they're offering certain scholarships. So we would like to, connect with you and check to see whether you are going to qualify. So could I request you, Sagar, to email your CV to info@agvglobal.com and mention saying that I'm looking for scholarships. So and write up, maybe you can copy paste the same thing into that email as well and send it across. And we have a wonderful team of people who can check through your profile. I mean, you definitely have a very impressive profile, by the way. So well done on that. So we will check to see if there are currently any scholarships which would be applicable to you, and if there are, we will definitely point you in the direction of that. And not only that, but also help you with the entire process as well. All right. Cool. Amit Mandal, hello, nice to see you. Same Amit. Thanks for that. Don Matthew asked, "Is New Zealand cheaper than Canada?" How dare you say that we are cheaper than Canada, Don? Okay, good question. I think you want to know about the living costs in New Zealand. I don't think again, this is not something based on scientific calculation or scientific data done, but I think it's actually costlier to live in New Zealand as compared to some of the larger countries like Canada and America and UK and places like that because our population is very small. Not only is our population small, we are very far away from the rest of the earth. So to transport goods from anywhere else, you got to put it on a ship or on a plane, and so the transportation cost itself can be pretty high. And then because there are not a lot of people living in New Zealand, we are just 4.3 or 4.4 million people in the country at the moment. So obviously the margins are not very high for the people selling their goods. So they need to increase the margins. So I think cost of living, I think, is actually higher in New Zealand. But that's one side of the story. What about the fact that we live in a, pollution-free, corruption-free, gun-free, violence-free, racism-free, so many free aspects. So I don't mind, spending a bit more on my cost of living. Maybe I'm spending a bit more for the electricity right now. I don't care because of the comfort and the sheer joy of living in New Zealand. So, but the short answer to your question, I think the cost of living in New Zealand might be a little higher as compared to Canada. Yeah. If you're planning to come to New Zealand, by the way, because you only asked a question asking whether it's a cost of living is higher, but if you're planning to come here, please check back with us, Don. All right, cool. Danush Rajendran. There you go. That's my man. He says, "I'm an AJV student." Well done, Danush. Smart guy. Hi, sir. I'm an AJV student, completed bachelor degree in civil engineering, but gonna study level 7 project management in Manukau Institute of Technology. So, want to know scope of project management. Dhanush, I'm a little careful about suggesting project management to people who don't have a lot of experience because project management, again, should be done by people who have certain years of experience behind them, and that experience can be collected into project management. But if you've hardly worked on any projects, to learn to do project management is like learning the theory without any practical element in your in your profile already. So I'm always very careful about. So I may actually be saying something different from what one of my team members might have said, but I'm actually not in favor of people who are getting into project management unless and until they have had some work experience. So you have not mentioned whether you have work experience or not, but please speak to the team again all over again. I will not. It's not like people who don't have experience cannot succeed in project management. They will also succeed. Some of my our students who have come and they've done project management with little or no experience, they have also done well. But ideally, it is not a good thing to get into project management unless and until you have work experience. And if my team is listening in, want you guys and girls also to make a note of that. Project management ideally should be for people who've already done some projects, and you want to collate that knowledge and then kind of make it into another element on your CV. But if you don't have uh, the requisite background, but if you still want to do project management, no problem, do it. But get into it if you're 100% confident about yourself and your capabilities. You can still get into it, because then the sheer confidence and the ability can overcome the fact that you do not have the required experience. But if you have certain amount of experience behind you and you're able to collate that, then I think it would make sense. But otherwise, I would say try and stick to civil engineering, which is a bit more technical, and we can continue to work on that. And MIT, I'm sure, would also have courses in just the regular civil engineering. If not MIT, there will be other institutions. But if you're dead set on doing only project management, go for it, no problem, because we will also guide and help you. Because even if you don't get into a project management role, you will probably still be able to get something into civil engineering. The problem comes where immigration might say, but hey, look, we did a project management course, so you need to get a relevant job that is only project management orientated. So that's my concern. So if you're confused after my answer, please have a chat with our team again, and I'm happy to get involved as well. All right, team, if you're listening in, I mean, I would also like you to have a chat with me and discuss this particular case, because I don't want any of our students landing here and saying, hey, look, I could have been given better advice. So I think you guys need to be careful. All right. Cool. Gokul Raghavendra, hello sir. If I do my graduate diploma course at project management, how good is the idea of pursuing masters right after? Okay, sorry guys, I'm getting a very weird phone call from some very weird number. So uh, just give me a moment, guys. Hello, hello. Yeah, yeah. Who's this? Hey Irshad, I'm in the middle of a live session, buddy. You have to call me back later. You know I'm on a live session. You shouldn't be calling me like that. All right, call me back later. All right, bye bye. Sorry guys, I mean this guy was on the live session, and seriously, yeah, I'm on the live session and you call me on the phone and say you want to discuss your case. Anyhow, all right. Sorry, that's the first time I actually picked up the phone, but it had a very weird number, so I was like, whoa, am I getting a call from some alien spaceship or something? Gokul wanted also was asking about project management. How good is the idea of pursuing masters right after the completion of my graduate diploma in project management? Again, see Gokul, I would give exactly the same answer which I was giving to Dhanush, which is project management is if you have such an adequate experience is what you should be getting into. Project, moving from grad dip to PG dip to masters makes sense theoretically, but project management and stuff like, in fact, I don't encourage a lot of people to get into MBA either unless until they have some work experience, because doing an MBA and getting theoretical knowledge is all well and good, but if when you have certain years of business experience and then you do MBA, it actually fortifies that practical knowledge with the theoretical knowledge. With no practical knowledge, you jump straight into theoretical knowledge, all you will end up learning is theory. And so I don't really encourage it, guys. So Gokul, same answer to you. If you have experience behind you, then I think it's a good idea. If you don't have experience, I don't think it's a good idea. Dhanush says, "Am I able to get job in construction field?" Dhanush, like I said, if you want to get a job in construction field, I would recommend you stick to a course which is directly related to construction field. Project management is also related, but if you get a visa officer who is dead set on seeing a job offer which says it has to say project management, then you might be in trouble. So I would suggest have a chat with the team. All right. So Mukhtar, whoever else is talking to Dhanush, I think you guys need to have another chat with Nishanti, myself, and then come back and provide better advice to Dhanush. Right. Uttam Das says, "Hi sir, do you know that you're a good presenter and I'm very much impressed." Wow, thanks, Uttam. I don't know if you guys know, but I used to work for radio in the early 90s. So when I just finished my graduation, I worked with All India Radio. I was still based in my city of Hyderabad in India, and I was a 21-year-old young fellow just out of college, and I got a break to work on radio. So actually, we could go live on radio, and I still remember those beautiful days. And now I come and say, "Hi, this is your friendly and frank licensed immigration advisor." Back when I was 21 and I would go live on radio, I used to get onto the show and I would say something like, "Hey, all you beautiful people, this is your DJ AJ coming live on All India Radio once again." So, yeah, I think I've heard of that. Kicks in now. Uttam, thanks for your compliment. Really appreciate that. But I do love sitting here and talking to all you guys and kind of connecting with you through technology. And thanks for all the support and love and affection I get from all you guys. And your further question is, you're already in contact with Valerie, who is one of my colleagues, and she's helped me a lot. Now I'm trying to arrange all my documents. See you soon. Thanks, Uttam, for choosing to work with us. We really appreciate your, patronage of our services. And I keep saying we exist to ensure that good people like you reach New Zealand. And in return, we are very grateful for all the support we get from all of you. Thank you so much from, very sincerely and from the bottom of my heart for choosing AJV, because you have a lot of choice and you choose us. So very grateful for that on behalf of my entire team. Okay, right. Now, Sharad, I think I'm probably coming to the last 3 or 4 minutes, and my team will now quickly start ringing the bell. So before that starts happening, I'm going to do is start running through these questions faster. All right. Sharda says, "Hi, sir. My wife works as a teacher, government college. She has been 5 years of experience. We hope to apply for a student visa, postgraduate early child education. She was graduated. I am IT graduate. I had 10 years work experience in the IT industry, and we have 5 years baby. Next year she starts primary education. Please advise me what is the most suitable option. NZ migration and steel. Applying for visa, wife or me, and what is a good job opportunity? IT or early child education?" Good question, Sharda. And I think the choice is very clear. I think you are an accomplished uh, you're definitely an accomplished IT professional, and so you will definitely. And we have a shortage of IT professionals, so I think you should be the person who comes on a work visa, and your wife should come on the student visa. That is quite clear in my head. I have no doubt in suggesting that. Everything else we can figure out about your child's visa and which school she will go to and all those kinds of things. But clearly, I can say, Sharda, that your wife has to be the student and you need to be the, excuse me, guys. So, and you need to be the work visa holder. So it's quite clear. And I just got a message, Sharda, from my team that you're speaking to one of my colleagues called Shazia, but you haven't shared your documents. So I request you, Sharda, please share your documents. I have, uh, you know, uh, taken the time and effort to answer your question and give you clarity. We would love to continue to work with you, especially for couples with children. It gets a bit more complex, so you need to work with a company like AJV, which has got a licensed advisor, so we can do all the visas. And also, not only that, once you land here, we can connect you to with other people and ensure that you guys are settling in well. So, Sharda, look forward to continue. Please continue to talk to Shazia and please go ahead and provide all your documents, and then we'll be able to work with you. But quite clearly, I think your wife should come for the early childhood education course, and you come on the work visa, I think you will succeed. There is also an equally and good opportunity even in the early childhood space as well. But let her complete the course, and after she completes the course, then she can begin to get. We can connect you to some of our people who are. In fact, one of my ex students, a good friend now, ex client from almost 10, 15 years ago, has set up an early childhood center. So if you're coming to New Zealand through us, we'll be delighted to connect, make all these connections for you. All right. So please send your documents immediately, Sharda, so that we can start working with you. Thank you. Shiva Hari, hello sir. I have completed diploma in electronics engineering 2011, 13 years education. After that, I worked electronic company. I'm planning to go to New Zealand for level 7 electronic engineer. I want to know what is level 7. Is it suitable for my circumstances? Gap is problem for visa or not? I don't think so, Shiva. Level 7 is a good course. It's called a good level. You are most likely getting into something called a graduate diploma in electronics. It's a good level. It's a good course. So I would actually recommend it. The gap and your visa depends on who's presenting it. If you're working with AJV, I can assure you we will present it the right way and ensure that you get a visa from the immigration department. I mean, I don't want to guarantee it, of course. I'm just saying we'll present it in such a nice way that there will be little or no reason for an immigration officer to reject it. So, good question, good course choice. Don't worry about the gap. Connect with my team. Either call 1-800-103-6525, which is our toll free number in India, or send an email to info@ajvglobal.com, and we will take care of it. And just got confirmation, Shiva, that you're also in touch with one of my colleagues in India. Thanks for choosing us. We will take care of you. Don't worry about your gap. We will take care of that. And your course choice is good as well, by the way. Okay, Kiran Lal, my friend, how are you? Kiran is one of my students, proudly one of our AJV students. Hi, sir. Is there any new rule like removal of part-time job rights for students is going to be implemented this month? Who told you all this cock and bull stories, Kiran? Don't worry about it. As I keep saying, this is too big an industry in New Zealand for the government to do something stupid and silly like removing work rights for students. Not possible. So rest easy and focus on your studies, Kiran. Don't worry. And have any doubts, give Mary a call. We'll be happy to connect with you and talk to you further and give you that confidence that you're doing the right thing. Don't worry about it, Kiran. It's all just a lot of nonsense that people with half brains keep spreading. So don't worry about it. Okay, BXS says, sir, I'm a farmer, completed MSc pharmacology from UK. Is it considered in New Zealand to do PhD? Absolutely. BXS, I think MSc pharmacology from a UK university would be a very good basis to consider to do a PhD in New Zealand. Please connect with our team, info@ajvglobal.com. Please send your CV and we'll connect. And we also love working with PhD students because New Zealand is also trying to attract PhD researchers. So we would love to work with you and help you with the entire process. All right. Kiran, of course, I know you're an AJV student, Kiran. You don't have to write again and say I'm an AJV student. Of course, I know you. In fact, I'm coming to Auckland. We guys will catch up soon. All right, promise. Lamba says good point. Yeah, thanks, Lamba. I don't know which. I make a lot of points in this. So I don't know which one, but thanks for it. Ramu Kameshwar Rao, aviation in New Zealand. How much cost? Good question. Ramu, depends on what you're looking for. Is it a private pilot's license or a commercial pilot's license? And I'm going to show off, guys. I'm actually also doing a little bit of flying nowadays. So I plan to get my private pilot's license. I'm doing it from the local aero club here in Hamilton. So depends on what you're looking for, Ramu. But New Zealand is also a fantastic country to learn flying because we have some of the most free skies in the world. Meaning, there are not a lot of planes going around, so which means we have a lot of free skies, and apparently even the weather patterns are very good for flying in New Zealand. And recently, one of my friends has started a very, very good aviation school. We would love to talk to you. I'll give you more details about that. So please get in touch with us, Ramu. But good choice to do aviation in New Zealand. And as far as the costs are concerned, my team will give you all the details depending on whether you want to do PPL or a CPL and whatever you're looking for. All right, cool. Okay, Shafrin says, hi Arun, hope you are doing well. Thanks, Shafrin. Yeah, pretty cool, doing all right. I'm from India, currently working with AJV. Thanks for that, appreciate that. Anne is guiding me. My question is, does the address and passport match for myself and my wife for visa purposes? Ideally, it will be good if the match is there, but That is not the only thing we are looking for when we are filing a spouse work visa. So don't worry too much about it, suffering, because even if that is not matching, we understand. You must have got your passport before you got married, so it's not a problem. And not everybody goes and then changes the address in the passport. In fact, I think my wife's passport and my passport, I think, have separate addresses because one was renewed here and one was renewed somewhere else. So doesn't matter, don't worry too much, because there are a lot of other criteria we look into when we are filing for a spouse visa. Okay, so don't worry, suffering, we'll take care of it. So if your addresses are different in the passports, please do not stress about it, we'll take care of it. All right, cool. Shiva Hari, hello sir. I've completed diploma in electronics engineering. After that, I worked in electronics company. Did I? I think I just answered this, right? Yeah, I just answered Shiva's question. Yeah, I just answered Shiva's question. Okay, cool. Thanks, Shiva, for confusing me. I started answering you again. Ramu Kameshwarao, can I get scholarship? Ramu, connect with the team. We will check to see. I think this new aviation school that has launched is also offering certain scholarships. So please get in touch with the team, and we would love to see if any possibility exists. Matthews Maman, possibility of migrating to New Zealand for IT consultant with 8 years of experience. What is the IELTS score required? Matthews, you will need to send your CV to uh, info@ajvglobal.com. If you're married, I would also like to look at your spouse CV, because for us to do an assessment to see whether you qualify for migration or not, we need to get all this information. By and large, direct migration is ruled out with some recent rule changes, but there is a possibility some people will get something called a skilled migrant category job search visa. So we will do an assessment and come back to you, Matthews, but you will need to send your CV. And if you're married, your wife's CV. If you're not married, just send your CV and we will write back to you and tell you whether you're qualifying or you're not qualifying. If you're qualifying, what you should do. If you're not qualifying, what you should do. All right, cool. Hungry Indian says, since this is the first time, I thought I could travel by working part time, do some bridge course, and start my studies. Not really. Don't worry too much, Hungry Indian. It doesn't matter. A lot of people come 4 5 days before their course starts, and they're settling in quite well. So don't come with. And frankly, New Zealand has become so cosmopolitan now. You'll certain areas of New Zealand, you'll feel like you're almost back in your own country. So we've become very multicultural. There's all kinds of food available, cuisine available, stores are available. So we don't miss anything, guys. We get everything, but we get to live a beautiful Kiwi life. All right, cool. So don't worry too much. Gio Joseph, can you please tell me about the new updates regarding post-study visa after level 8 course? No updates yet, Gio. It is still being discussed. I think I covered this quite extensively in my previous live session. So this is live session 22. Go back to YouTube or Facebook and look for live session 21. And I've covered this extensively. But right now, there's no changes. It is only a discussion. Yeah. Shiva has again asked me a question. Okay, I think I'm almost done now. Okay, Gio's asked some more questions. Gio, I know you've been asking some more questions. You say you're doing a PG diploma second semester. I don't think you're an AJV student. I don't think you came to New Zealand through AJV. That's why your name, I can't recall your name, to be honest. But if you want further information onshore, Gio, I request you pick up the phone and speak to our onshore senior manager. Her name is Mary. She is available on 022 605 2615. Make a note of that. 022 605 2615. Send her a text, speak to her, and she'll tell you how we can guide you further. All right. Post study work visa. Yeah, we can help you with that. Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm gonna to wind this up today because I'm already exceeded by 8 or 9 minutes, and I got to give my poor throat a break as well. But last two questions. Arjun says, hello, sir. I got admission in MIT for software and web development level 7. May I know more details about the scope of the course for job opportunity? Good course. Obviously, I mean, it's in the IT industry, and well, job opportunities will depend on your own ability, English ability, how presentable you are, so on and so forth. You have not mentioned, Arjun, whether you're coming to MIT and to New Zealand through us. If you're coming through us, we'll help you to network. We'll give you formats for CV, cover letter. We'll meet you. We will talk to you. We'll give you that confidence and create those networks. If you're not coming to New Zealand through HAV, all the very best. create your own networks, do whatever is possible for you. But your course choice is pretty good. All right, cool. Lakshmi Chavali, last question. I am graduate with PG certificate, business management, and wife is also. So, what is Lakshmi's actual question? Okay, yeah, her question is I'm an IT professional with 20 years of experience and age 46. Do I stand a chance for migration with family? How are the prospects for senior leadership roles in IT there? By the way, I'm graduate with Prestigious certification, business management, and my wife is also graduate. I have close to 9 plus. Looks like a fantastic profile, Lakshmi. I don't know whether to call you Sri or Lakshmi or Chavli, but I'll call you Lakshmi. But I think it's a fantastic profile. I think the scope is very good. Recently, one of our clients who was based in America, even before she landed in New Zealand, she picked up a job, a very, very, very good job for in New Zealand. So the scope is very good, especially for somebody who's got US work experience and you got such a phenomenal track record. So I recommend you send your CVs, both your CVs, yours and your wife's, to info@agvglobal.com and make the subject line saying, hey, look, seeking migration assessment. We will do that assessment and come back to you. If you're getting the points, we will tell you what next. If you're not, we will make other suggestions. Right, guys? That's it for today. Thank you as always. It's been a pleasure coming on. Uh, it's become my Tuesday routine now, and I'm going doing a live seminar at AIS St. Helens in Auckland tomorrow. So wish me luck for that. But otherwise, thanks as always for coming and supporting us in those live sessions, and for all those of you who have chosen to work with AJV, a massive, huge, big thank you on behalf of my entire team. You guys rock, and by supporting us, you make us rock as well. All right, cool. Thanks, guys. Good night. See you the next time. Bye bye.